Welcome Home, a podcast for veterans about veterans by veterans, is a project of Willing Warriors and the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run.
Good morning. I'm your host, Larry Ziliaks, Director of Culinary Services here at the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run. And this week, we are going to take a look at what's in store for the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run in the next year, 2026. And I have two perfect guests for that. Diane Polk, who's our Director of Operations. She is here along with our Executive Director, Sarah Ford. So welcome.
Thank you, Larry.
I want to start by thinking a little bit about 2025. Now, I did a recap episode. Everybody is familiar with all the events that we had and the things that we did. But for each of you, and Sarah, we'll start with you, what's your fondest memory of 2025? Now, it can be a warrior you interacted with, a volunteer, an event, anything really.
Wow, it's hard to just say one thing, right? One memorable moment, one experience that stands out. So as I look back over the year, we were celebrating our 10-year anniversary, right? So 10 years of having the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run here, having this property where we host families and groups. So it was a year that was, filled with a lot of impactful moments, and it kind of culminated into this anniversary celebration that we had here on the grounds. And I just was in awe seeing the people, the community that came out for that event, seeing faces and, those just impactful people in the history of the Warrior Retreat that came out that day, and to hear their stories, to hear how they were here on day one. They saw the home. They were part of the demo team that was knocking down walls and truly building the foundation for this retreat, and to hear their stories and for them to see the property now, how we've grown, how we've expanded. It was just such a blessed day to be a part of that and to see how the community who literally built this Warrior Retreat come and have such a huge part, not only in our past, but our present, and then looking ahead to our future. So there was just so many stories that came out of that day, that time, and that year. As a year kind of reflection, but then a year looking ahead and saying, what's next? What's now? This is what we've done. Look how much could be accomplished, but now where do we go from here?
Diane, what about you?
Well, I 100% agree with Sarah for the 10-year anniversary and meeting people who had been here before me. Been here 8 years myself, so meeting those that had been here before, hearing their stories, and actually speaking to warriors that had stayed here before, and the impact that is still all these years later having on them. I think one of the most impactful stories is to hear about a warrior and his wife who had been here several years ago, and one of the wonderful volunteer gifts that they received was a prayer shawl.
Mm-hmm.
And to learn that many years later, she is still taking that prayer shawl everywhere with her, whether it's on an airplane, just there as comfort that we were able, that Willing Warriors was able to give that kind of an impact that all these years later is still giving her comfort. Also talking to some of the warriors that were here many years ago that are coming back. It's very special to be able to keep that relationship with the warriors, the families. We see them years later. Their children have grown. Then we're hearing from them as very young adults what an impact it had on them as well. So it's just kind of affirmation to the actual healing that these grounds truly have. Yeah. And it's an honor to be a part of that and to be able to help those who sacrifice so much for us. It's the least we can do to give it back.
Well, I'm with both of you. I think the 10-year anniversary was really something. It was quite an event. It was a lot of work on the part of the staff and volunteers, but it came off flawlessly. For me, of course, the dedication of the Jim Cole kitchen was really the highlight of that day for me. Having seeing his family who had come in from Washington State and Maine and here locally unveil his portrait that went in the kitchen was really special. I did run into a number of folks that I haven't seen in 10 years, that were volunteers early on. One, especially, she helped us get items for the house. She worked at a home goods kind of store back then, and she set up what was the equivalent of a bridal registry for us. And we directed people there, and they would buy things off of that, and then she would bring them here to us. And I hadn't seen her in so many years, and she's married now and has kids, and it was crazy. But it really was quite a special day, and the weather was nice, which is always a blessing. We've had, the original ribbon cutting. I remember that vividly because the politicians that came yapped and yapped and yapped, and the plan was that everybody would give a short speech and then we'd invite people in to see the house. Well, they just kept yapping, and then the clouds opened up and it started pouring rain and everybody ran for their cars. And the only thing we could do was to say, come back tomorrow. You can tour tomorrow. And we had to have the open house part on Sunday. So yeah, it was a lot different. So,
But even with the rain then, and then when we had the ribbon cutting for here at the Grand Lodge, and it was a horrible weather day,
yeah,
overcast, pouring down rain, but still to see everyone out there holding their umbrellas, they wanted to be a part of the day, rain or shine. Yes, we did for our 10-year anniversary have the most beautiful weather. We were definitely so fortunate to have that. But still, I think even if it had been cloudy, rainy, no matter what, we still would have seen just a great turnout because just the community, feels a special attachment to the Warrior Retreat because they are a part of the essence of this retreat. They are part of the heart of what we do.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about the ribbon cutting on the Grand Lodge, and there was over 100 people out there standing in the rain.
Yes.
Listening to the music that we had. We had a nice band and a few speeches, which immersively were fairly short. Thinking about where we're going in the future this year, one of the things that I think is really special about this organization is its ability to adapt its mission to the needs of our warriors that we see either out in the community as veterans or there at the hospitals at Walter Reed and Fort Belvoir. Too many veteran service organizations are unwilling to change or adapt, and they just keep doing what they've always done, and it's almost forcing it on veterans. And we do ask what needs need to be met, and we're looking at moving towards addressing some of those needs to the veteran community through a lot of the programs that we're going to offer. So, Diane, what are a couple of the programs that or which program do you think is going to be the most impactful this year coming up?
Personally, I feel the moral injury program is going to be the most impactful. They're all extremely important and going to be very impactful. However, the more communication I'm having with our military leadership in the hospitals and even with our chaplains, it's becoming very apparent that mental health is, for some reason, really becoming something to be addressed. In my conversations with them, they are excited, as we are here at Willing Warriors, to start really working together and really ramping up our moral injury program. The need is so great, in the thousands, I believe, and to truly understand what moral injury is, not only to share that with our military, but our first responders as well. We want to be able to open up to our first responders, our frontline nurse care. The need is very great. And I'm hoping and working towards expanding what we can offer, whether it's a one-day seminar or a weekend. It's a busy year, 2026 already, but that doesn't mean we can't try to fit something in even during the week. We need to do something. We need to be able to pursue that.
Mm-hmm. Sarah, one of the things I know that you've been working on with one of our ambassadors, Jeff Schlegel, is transitioning assistance program for financial assistance for veterans. And if you would just tell us a little bit about that program and the value that it brings to the veteran community.
So a financial literacy program is something that we've been talking about, for actually a couple of years. We had an employer actually in the DoD space, reach out and say, hey, do you know of any program for veterans to kind of teach them some just basic financial principles that'll help, set them up for success, right? When they're transitioning from active duty to civilian life. I couldn't find any here locally in the area. So if we don't have any and there's a need, then we need to be a part of the solution. So that's how that idea came about. And yes, Jeff Schlegel, he's a Willing Warriors ambassador and just a true champion and advocate for our veterans. And so he has taken on this project as project lead. And it's going to be a program that is diverse in its educational offerings, just from the very basics of financial planning 101, right? Budgeting, how to set a budget, what do you need to budget for, to other ideas such as investing in yourself first, investing in opportunities that are available and what makes sense with the markets and how to kind of read what's going on in the economy to make good and smart decisions, and different topics, even as far as mortgages and does it make sense to rent versus buy, and insurance, what kind of insurance do you need? So it does cover a vast variety of topics, but just to meet that need. Those that have already transitioned to the civilian sector know that when you process out of active duty, you have to go through a number of classes, one of which does kind of touch on budgeting and finances and so forth. But it's really, for many, almost a check in the box. And we want to definitely get away from that, have something that's interesting, engaging, and really get questions answered, as opposed to just being a check in a box on a paper that you need to get through in order to process out of active duty. So we're really excited about the program, and it's going to be kicking off this spring. So we'll have our first program here at the Grand Lodge.
There's also going to be a number of programs that we had previous years that are coming back, such as the partnering with the 957 Project. And we'll have the high school kids here for a week-long day camp. Tell us a little bit about that, and how can somebody in the Northern Virginia area reach out, maybe if they're interested in getting their child involved?
Yeah, so partnering with the 957 Project has just been a phenomenal experience and just such an asset for this region. And the more that we're getting feedback from the students and the parents of these students that have attended, the more we see we need to continue this partnership. And the program is run by Peter Findler with the 957 Project. He and his team come here, and their curriculum is top notch. There's nothing like it in the country, and it is so on point with its messaging and with its impact that the families of our fallen have embraced this program, want to be a part of the program. They want to lean in with these students and share their experiences and do what they can to be a part. And it's just really a transformational week. It's 1 week, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day. One day includes a trip to Shanksville. The 957 Project teaches the lessons of courage, resilience, empowerment, service, and teamwork. And it revolves around the story of Flight 93, right, and the passengers of Flight 93. So the families of those passengers of Flight 93 have embraced the program. They want to come be a part of the program, be a part of the teaching of those principles, because it does carry on the legacy of their loved ones that were lost. And to see these students lean in on the lessons and these values that we all hold near and dear, and certainly the relatives of the passengers of Flight 93 hold near and dear, to see these students really lean in and want to dive in and learn more, and then not only learn about it, but then are inspired to do something in their community, in their state, and in the country to make a positive impact. It honors those passengers of Flight 93. It honors the victims of 9/11. It's just a great way to spend a week. I can't think of a better, activity for the youth in the summer, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. They're here at the retreat, and one day includes the visit to the crash site of Flight 93 in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And it's sponsored by members of our community, fully sponsored, so the students can attend. So there's no cost. There's nothing that would prohibit someone from coming. It's just it's a great investment of time.
And one of the special aspects of it is that the curriculum itself is taught by veterans.
Yes.
Yeah, which is a great utilization of the space here at the Grand Lodge, because the kids can come, they're here all day, and then the veteran instructors stay here in the lodge. So it's almost what this Grand Lodge was made for. It's really perfect, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful program. Diane, we are moving in the direction of hosting a number of other groups to come and bring their programs here to the retreat. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the groups that are going to be coming this year?
Well, first and foremost, I do want to reiterate that our mission is still for our wounded, ill, and injured service members that are in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
While we are adding a few programs to this year with other groups, that is our number one mission, is to bring the families together out of the hospital for a 1 week, 5-night, 5-day, no-cost stay here at the retreat. That is our number one priority. We can't forget those that are away from family, and that's goal number one. And number two, some of the groups that we're hosting are referencing Mighty Oaks is a faith-based organization that will be coming 4 times this year for week-long stays. There'll be 2 men's groups coming and 2 women's groups coming. The need is tremendous right now. There's a backlog everywhere for service members that need help, along with American Warrior Association. They'll be coming for several weeks, broken up into 1-week time frames for the same faith-based healing. It's very eye-opening to talk to so many different groups that have a waiting list, that there is such a tremendous need out there. And we're grateful that we're part of being able to support that. And another group, 1010 for Life, is coming for weekend stays. Basically, the chaplains that I've talked to lately, they're like, oh, I'm going to talk to the chaplains at Fort Bragg. I'm going to talk to the chaplain here. They have access to all of that. And we just heard last week, the need is just absolutely tremendous. I know it's sounding repetitive, but the need isn't going away. So we have to keep talking about how important it is.
I know that the DAV chaplains, the Disabled American Veterans chaplains, are coming for a stay, which is really going to be great.
Yep. They'll actually be occupying all 3 houses.
Wow.
And which would mean upward of 25 chaplains here. Will be great. And as you had said earlier, the reason, the 957 student leadership, part of why we have the lodge, and this is another way, is we can help another 12 to 13 people. And they have the activity room here on the Grand Lodge, so they can have their classroom sessions comfortable, beautiful views, relaxing scenery. They can take 15-minute breaks or whatever the case may be through intense sessions. that are usually in the morning is usually the most intense, and then they can go walk the trails and just think about what they just learned, try to absorb it, or even just walk off by themselves and reflect. And that's one of the benefits of the retreat is there's enough space here to be with nature. You might get lucky and you might have a bear come out of the woods and say hello, which we did last year, and we had some youth here. But that was a nice treat. And then she just went back to her business, and
Thank goodness.
it's great.
So, Larry, I think, when we started talking, you were talking about, organizations and flexibility and kind of evolving and changing with the times. And as Diane mentioned, our founding mission was supporting these warrior families, providing them with a respite stay, a place to get away and to connect and heal together. But a part of that evolving and growing is, just as Diane was speaking about, these programs and maintaining our old partnerships and gaining new partnerships. When there's a wait list to get into these programs, a huge wait list for several of them, and we have the opportunity to bring these warriors here to our grounds for healing, for hope. It's an honor to be able to do that. And so when we can combine the healing and these warrior family stays also with week-long stays for warrior groups to come, it's just it's that perfect combination, and being available, being accessible, and being what this retreat was founded to be, as we've said many times, a place for healing.
Well, I'm a member of the Air Force Security Forces Association. They put out a monthly newsletter. At the end of the newsletter, sort of end of watch section, where you'll see pictures and little bios of those members of the organization that are no longer with us. And I always look through, see if I knew anybody. I may have been stationed with someone. It was really troubling when I looked the other day, and amongst all these old guys were pictures of young guys. And I searched on their names and was able to learn that I saw 3 young active duty soldiers who committed suicide. Wow. And it's just shocking. It's such a troubling issue to have these young soldiers think that's the answer to their problem. And anything that we can do here, and I commend both of you for thinking of these programs and coming up with new programs to address these issues. It's just something that needs to be done. The other thing I think we need to talk about as we sort of kind of wind down is funding.
So, Larry, we're always looking for sponsors for each of the programs that we've discussed, whether it's the financial literacy program, the summer student leadership program, even our warrior group stays that come. We're fortunate to have the volunteer support, the community support that we have to help us with providing facilitators and so forth for these groups. But the bottom line is, when they're here, the meals, the different materials that we provide with the students, we provide the transportation to Shanksville to take them for that experience. And fortunately, with our partnership with the 957 Project, we've been able to receive funding that pays for the transportation to and from, and we take care of all the meals and there's just resources that we have here that we rely on funding to make happen. So we appreciate any and all support for these programs. And if anyone is interested in supporting any of the programs that we've talked about, you can certainly reach out to Willing Warriors. Our info@willingwarriors.org. Go to our website, willingwarriors.org, and click on the donate button. And you can specifically put on there if you want to support a particular program, and that donation will go specifically to the program of your choice. But lots of great opportunities for individuals, for businesses to be a part of what we have going on.
Well, listeners, from all my other episodes, whenever we're talking about a veteran service organization, I'm always telling you to go up to the right-hand corner and bang on that donate button. So please, this is no exception. We need funding for operations and to pay the bills, the mortgage and the electrical bill. The cable bill is ridiculous. We have way too many TVs, but all that stuff, is not free. And so please donate, give what you can. I'll give each of you just a minute here as we kind of wrap up. What's the one thing you think listeners need to know about the retreat and where we're going in 2026? Sarah?
Great question, Larry. You're always full of good questions, and that's why you're the best at what you do. But looking ahead to 2026, we talk a lot about programs and new programs and the outreach that we're doing. I want everyone to know that we have never left our roots. We have never left our core mission and our passion for service and serving those who have served our nation. Whatever we do, wherever we go, whether it's here, whether it's out in the community, or if we're looking to go to another community, right, to expand our footprint, whatever we do, it has the heart of our military, our first responders in mind. We are here to meet a need. And as you mentioned, we're losing far too many service members to suicide, far too many veterans to suicide. If we have a piece of that answer, then we want to make sure that we are available and we are out there and we are doing what we can to make a dent in that. One life saved is all worth it. All the work that it takes, all the effort that goes into events and programs and just having this property available, saving one life is worth it. And that's what we're going to continue to do, no matter where we are or what we have going on. Serving our service members and veterans is the heart of what we do.
Diane?
How can you follow that? I agree 100%. We're not straying from the core of what started this with these programs. We are expanding.
Mm-hmm.
We are expanding due to the need that we have seen firsthand, communicating with leadership within all branches, have expressed the need, the growth of that need, unfortunately. Not quite sure why some things are the way they are, but they are. As long as we can be here to help, that's what we do. I mean, we're all either militarily related somehow. You being a veteran. I'm the mom of 2 active duty Army soldiers. Sarah's husband, military. 99% of our volunteers are military. So we all get it. And I think that's another thing that makes Willing Warriors so special is we're all like-minded, related in some way through our experiences. So when the families come, we're just not just like trying to fill a slot, add numbers. We actually understand it. We have felt it. So I think that's very important. And that's why we have year-long relationships with the families that come. They come back. They come to our events.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge in my book.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't agree more. I mean, we get so much out of the families when they come. We see them when they come and we see them when they leave. And we're privileged to see the difference and the impact that the stay has on the family. It's, as we know from them coming back and sharing their stories about their time since they were here, it's clear that their stay had an impact on them. And we're blessed that we're able to do that for the community, on behalf of the community that supports us on so many levels. We're just so thankful that we were able to celebrate 10 years, which is quite a milestone for a nonprofit that started out with nothing. And today we have this beautiful 37-acre estate with these 3 homes on it. And we're not only continuing to support our mission of wounded, ill, and injured families coming out for 5 nights of free respite, but also to expand our programs to support our veteran community and our active duty soldiers in ways that many of them are experiencing issues that are being unmet by the VA or unmet by other veteran service organizations. So we're really thankful that we're able to do this. And 2026, I think, is going to be a great year for everyone here at the retreat. So thank you for sitting down and joining me. I know I kind of tore you away from a lot of work that you're doing, but I really, really appreciate it.
Well, it's always a pleasure talking to you, Larry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Larry.
So listeners, we'll have another episode next Monday morning at 0500. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can reach us at podcast@willingwarriors.org. You can find us on all the major podcast platforms. We're on YouTube and Wreaths Across America Radio. So until then, thanks for listening.
The Welcome Home podcast is brought to you by Willing Warriors, a nonprofit organization serving active duty service members and veterans since 2012. To learn more, please visit our webpage at willingwarriors.org.